All right, guys, watch this video for Monday, March 21st. The SPY, a quiet inside day. You can see just a narrow range on Friday. Not a lot of action as far as day trading goes. And so here we have our list for Monday. I'm going to start with lumber liquidators. Little bump in volume, LL, and kind of a little mini breakout of about a week's range. I think this one might continue. It's got decent support below. I think it might continue higher on Monday. We'll keep it on watch. ZYNE finally put in a green candle after that crazy move to over 20, and it had a high of 11 bucks, closed at 10.73. I want to watch that one for a continuation of that bounce. GBIM. I actually called this one on Friday in the chat room right here on this. It looked like this on this volume spike. So I like it at 145 with a worst case stop. I think I said 137. It never did stop out. But you can tell by the candles that it's just such a thin stock. A lot of times when you get a crazy move like this, okay, from $1.14 to 267 on 5 million shares, when it does, after it comes in for a few days, when it does bounce, you'll get another 2 million shares in a big move. You're not seeing that in these lower priced, lower flowed stocks lately, so keep that in mind. And you can tell when it broke the high of the day right here, it just did nothing for about 2 hours, and then finally maybe short started to give in a little bit, and it climbed the rest of the day. But, I'm not in love with these low float stocks right now. AKRX I have on Bounce Watch again. It gave a nice little bottoming tail on Friday. I think this one might continue. Here's an intraday look at it. So it had a nice reversal on Friday, and you got a kind of an afternoon sideways range. So this gets back up over this range. It might continue the bounce on Monday. So that's AKRX, pretty beaten up there. VRX, I did take a small trade in this one, actually on the long side on Friday, but I only made like $100, and then I had to close it because it came back to my entry. And it's just another red day. This almost looks like it wants to get fast to the downside and then reverse. So I want to keep this one on watch for an intraday maybe capitulation, and you might catch a multi-day low there. So I will keep this one on watch, although it's pretty ugly. ORPN. Again, these low float stocks, low price stocks are not working very well, but this thing made that crazy move to 795. I'm sorry, that's not right. It opened at it opened at 305 and went to 795 before reversing, closing above 4, and then I think they announced a secondary, and then another day down. You're back down to almost where it started. This is worth watching for a bounce, but certainly not in love with this one either. I like secondary plays after a big move, but I like them a lot less when they completely round trip. Okay, so keep that in mind. VTAE, kind of a quiet inside day after the gap up. I like it over Friday's high, over 750. So let's keep that one on watch. I'm going to get that line out there. So that one's worth watching. Usually on weekends, I don't get too excited about my list because, who knows macro, what's going to happen on the weekend, and then are we going to get a big gap up or big gap down. So Monday morning gap plays will be more important than this list. But anyway, some of these might pay off if they give me the right intraday setup. AAC, I got to share this one with you. A nice volume bump. You can see the big volume compared to its average volume. Now this is a 9.8 million share floater according to finviz.com. So I'm also showing 50% short. Don't know if that's true. I never know whether to trust those numbers or not. You can see it got decimated back here from 38 all the way down to this, I don't know, $15 area. Took it out here. Coming out of a nice sideways range above that area on Friday on a decent volume bump. Here's my problem with it. When you look it up and then you see the headline that bumped it, tell me how much confidence this instills in you when wanting to trade this stock. The headline is, "Murder charges against AAC Holdings and its former president are dismissed." That doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me that a stock is being lifted up on the news that murder charges are dismissed. But anyway, with that low float, it is worth watching on Monday. Had a couple really big spikes here and then settled in. But I mean, look at this move from, 18 to over 20 in about 10 minutes, and then a secondary move over 2150, and then kind of got quiet. So you, as a day trader, you got to have this one on watch. With that float, it can really move quickly. So that actually, I do all the joking about the headline aside, the action does look pretty good for a potential long trade with a proper intraday setup on Monday, or maybe anytime next week. And then lastly, I have VCEL, which is still extended above the moving averages and just kind of chopping around in this range. But you do have like 4 consecutive lower highs, but it's getting kind of tight. So this one might kind of break out above this consolidation and go again. Sellers have not been really able to knock this down like some of these others I've just shown you. So that's the list I'm going to start with. We'll work together as a group in the chat room to spot some nice potential gap plays in the pre-market on Monday too. And then as the day unfolds, we got our oil guy Oki. He'll be stalking. He's really good at trading the oil plays, long and short. And then we'll also look for intraday reversal type setups and everything on the list as well. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.